This video is about the difference between el preterito and el imperfecto. As a review, here are the conjugations for the preterite tense. Aste o, amos astes aron, iste io, imos istes ieron. The preterite is used for one-time actions, completed actions, and actions within a time frame, last week, last year. It's also used for interrupting actions, which I'll explain in just a minute. The imperfect tense is conjugated like this. Ava, avas, ava, avamos, avais, avan. Ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian. These are the situations where you would use the imperfect tense. The imperfect tense is used to talk about habitual actions, things that happen more than once, ongoing actions, things that are still happening to this day, growing up, like expressions like de niño, setting the scene or describing the scenery, weather, emotions and desires, age, telling time, simultaneous actions, so two things happening at once, and also interrupted actions. We'll talk about interrupted actions later. So interrupting versus interrupted actions. What in the world does that mean? An interrupted action is something that was happening when something else happened. For example, I was walking down the street when a bus hit me. The interrupted action was me walking down the street, when suddenly a bus hit me. The interrupting action. It's an interrupting action because I can no longer walk down the street because the bus hit me. In the second example, we have she was eating lunch when she dropped her cookie. Her dropping the cookie is an interrupting action that interrupted her lunch, because she can no longer continue to eat her lunch with her cookie on the floor. Now we have two examples in Spanish. Yo comía cuando empezó la clase. I was eating when the class started. I was eating in the background, and suddenly the class started and I was no longer able to eat, because if you eat in Señorita Blanca's class, you will be in big trouble. The other example. La niña lloraba cuando alguien encontró su oso de peluche. The child was crying. That was the interrupted action. She was crying, 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 and then they found her teddy bear. And since they found her teddy bear, she stopped crying. It's an interrupting action. There are also a few words that have a different meaning depending on whether they're conjugated in the preterite or the imperfect. The verb conocer means to know someone or something in the imperfect, but in preterite it means to meet someone for the first time. The verb poder in the imperfect means to have the chance or have the opportunity, but in the preterite it means to succeed at something. But no poder in the imperfect means that you didn't have the chance or the opportunity. And no poder in the preterite means that you tried and you failed. Querer in the imperfect is to want, but querer in the preterite is to get. No querer is to not want in the imperfect, but in the preterite it means to refuse. And finally, saber in the imperfect is to know something, but preterite is to find out.